machine. In the year 21,000. This is a story of twins called Harry and Lily. Harry, the older one, had knobbly knees, jet black hair, and he had a scar over here. Even though Lily was younger by 10 seconds, she was taller almost by an inch, like about this much. She had curly hair, and just like Harry, she had a scar because they had a severe car accident when they were a baby. Okay, she had a scar over here also. The twins had very normal days, and then one day when they were walking back from school, suddenly they tripped on something buried in the ground, like something metal. Okay, so they decided to dig it up because they wanted to figure out what it was. When they dug it up, they saw it's kind of like a clock with some random numbers and some turntables and some years and some numbers and all that. Okay, they thought it was that, and then they thought, what could it be? But when they turned it around, it said time machine. They couldn't believe their eyes. Not that time machines were rare, because it was in the year 21,000 and time machines had got invented, but they were a kind of like a poor family, and they couldn't afford time machines, so they couldn't believe their eyes. And they decided not to tell their mom because it would not be because then their mom would get angry and scold them of touching something that it's not there, then who knows what could happen. Then that night, instead of sleeping, they discussed that they would want to use the time machine to go back in time, but they couldn't decide when they wanted to go back in time, because like what era. Lily wanted to go and meet Thomas Edison, but Harry wanted to go and meet Albert Einstein. Then they argued about it until they were too sleepy to talk. Then the next day, when they were walking back to school, Harry had the idea of going to the time of the dinosaurs. Okay, and then Lily thought that was a good idea, so that's what they decided. And they also decided that they would go back in time that very night. Just when the clock struck midnight, they crept out of bed slowly and quietly. Then they touched the time machine. They set the era to 66 million years ago, because that's where dinosaurs were. Then there was like a huge noise, whoosh, and then what after felt like 100 hours, the noise stopped. They had reached. When they stepped out of the time machine, they saw the most beautiful sight ever. There were thousands of birds, trees in every direction, and a huge cave. Lily suggested that we should camp in the cave because we would be safe from all the animals. So they got some wood to build a small fire at the mouth of the caves so that animals won't be able to come in. Then they both realized that they were really, really hungry because they had skipped breakfast, because they went in the night and they reached in the afternoon. And they were really, really hungry. So they looked around for food. Harry found some berries and called Lily over. But when Harry was about to take his first bite, Lily immediately shouted, "Stop!" She thought that some of the berries might be poisonous. So they searched it up on Google. But you must be wondering how they searched it up, because there was no internet. But in 21,000, the phones have their own built-in Wi-Fi and they charge with solar panels. But they knew they couldn't live off berries forever. They had to find another food source. Then, all of a sudden, Harry spotted a small river and suggested we go fishing. But they didn't have a fishing rod, so they had to use what they had around them. They found a little twig and they had string in their pocket, luckily, so they attached it. And then they found like a stone and they had a knife, So they carved out a little pot and they put the string around it, like a lot of it, like you know how you ride a kite and you can do that and all that. So they did it like that, and they took a little bit of, and they found a worm on the ground, and they stuck it on the stick as bait. Then they sat there 1 hour, nothing. 2 hours, nothing. 3 hours, they felt a tug on the thing, and they yanked, and it was a fish. Probably it was a big fish actually, so that's why they needed both their powers to like bring the fish up. It was about this big, pretty big, and that lasted them for 2 days. So they put the stick on the fish and they cooked it above the fire that they had made previously. Then, and they also slept, and they took some leaves from the trees and they made like a bedding, and they slept next to the fire so they were warm during the night, because in the time of the dinosaurs it was really cold in the nighttime periods. The next day, when they were exploring the cave, they saw a huge shadow of something really big. They both got so frightened as they thought it was a giant dinosaur. But they looked closely. It was actually a huge oval egg. And then first they couldn't see why do an oval egg be there. But then they remembered that they were in the time of the dinosaurs. It was a dinosaur egg. Then they were very cautious as they went close to it. And then when they were just about to say something, there was a huge crack sound and a tiny dinosaur waddled out. Harry and Lily were shocked. They had specifically set the time machine after the dinosaurs got extinct. After some time, Harry and Lily were not afraid anymore. They were quite comfortable with the dinosaur being there. And then Lily said, maybe we should take it home. I mean, we could make it grow up and take care of it, and then, because it's only a baby, it won't do anything to us. After some time, so they took a rope and they tied it to the waist of the dinosaur, because they didn't want to tie it around the neck because it could get hurt. So they tied it around the waist and they had to tug and tug, because the baby dinosaur kept on wandering off, like, because for him it was just like just do this and he can go ta-da-da-da-da, because he's like huge. Even a baby is probably as big as double the size of an elephant. So yeah, it was really big. They tugged and tugged, and they finally managed to get the baby back to base camp. And then they said, I'm so tired that I'm just going to sleep. And they slept. They thought they only slept for 1 hour, but they actually slept for 3 hours. So then after that, they said, let's go back to the future and see what's happening. Then what they did is, before they would go back to the future, they were really sad to leave the dinosaur behind, and then they decided that they could stay 1 more day. So they named the dinosaur Dino, okay, and then after 1 more day, it was finally time for them to leave, and in that 1 day period, they actually taught him like a few words and like how to make sentences in English, but he was pretty bad because he's a dinosaur and he doesn't know how to speak English. So they slowly taught him words and sentences. Then after 1 day, Harry and Lily said that we should leave. But then Harry was sad about leaving Dino, and so was Lily. So what they did is, they decided that maybe we should take him back to the future and show all our friends and go to school with him and all that. So they took him back to the future. Then what happened is, they went back to the future, and the same sound came, whoosh, and then they arrived in the future. It was kind of changed, because when you go back to the past, you stop aging and time freezes. Okay, so when you go back to the past, and when they came back to the future, it was the exact same thing. It was still midnight. It was actually 12:01, not 12, 12:01. Because when you go, time freezes. So their mom wasn't really worried, and they didn't actually go for 20 days. They went for a minute because time freezes. Okay. Then when they got back home, they decided to tell their mom about the dinosaur experience the next day, because I don't think you would like being waked up in the middle of the night, right? Then the next day, their mom had to go for some work, so they couldn't tell her. But they went to school with the dinosaur. They showed everybody, and everybody greeted them and all that and everything. And then when they came back, their mom was there, and they told the story of how they went to the time machine and how they got the dinosaur. But their mom was so scared when they went to the time machine. She said, "What have you done? You could have got yourself killed." And then they were like, "Don't worry, doesn't matter. We're not killed now, are we?" Then what they did is they loved Dino so much, they decided to make Dino a part of their family.